Another video tutorial from your channel Aditya Byte. So in this series of video about cellular respiration, we will discuss the stage 4, that is electron transport chain here. So before going to the video, you make sure that you have watched the video of glycolysis and Krebs cycle so that it will be easier for you to understand the topic here. So now let's start the topic. So cellular respiration. So let's have an overview on cellular respiration here. So we have already discussed the glycolysis, in which glucose converts into pyruvate, then pyruvate into acetyl coenzyme A, then it goes for a Krebs cycle here, and then at the last process which we will discuss today is electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation. This was the basic idea. So now let's have a review on the stages of cellular respiration. That is glycolysis, in which occurs in cytosol, and in which glucose converts into two molecules of pyruvate, releasing 2 ATP and 2 NADH. Second stage is pyruvate oxidation, occurs in matrix here, in which 2 pyruvate converts into 2 molecules of acetyl coenzyme A, releasing 2 NADH. And Krebs cycle occurs in matrix here, matrix of mitochondria, and in which 2 acetyl coenzyme converts into 2 oxaloacetate, the whole cycle, and releases 6 NADH, 2 FADH2 and 2 ATP here. Okay, this was overall idea here, and today we will discuss the stage 4, that is electron transport chain. Okay, and it is the process in which electron travel through the ETS chain and finally combine with half molecule of O2 to form water. So hence this is also known as the terminal oxidation here. Okay, as we have already discussed, it is a series of protein built into inner mitochondrial membrane along cristae, contains transport proteins and enzymes, and transport of electrons down etc are linked to the pumping of H plus ions to create H plus gradient here. Okay, and it yields nearly 34 ATP from one glucose molecule, and only occurs in the presence of oxygen, because it is a aerobic respiration here, as you can clearly see the oxygen. Now let's move on. Now let's see a short overview on mitochondria here. As we already know that mitochondria is a double membrane organelle. Here this is the outer membrane here, this is the inner membrane, and the highly folded cristae is present, which contains transport proteins and enzymes here, and this is the intermembranous space. Okay, which is a fluid filled space and fluid filled space here, and in the cristae here, in the inner membrane, the ETC cycle takes place. So now let's move on and see. Now let's see the electron transport chain in detail. So first we need to understand some terminologies here. Here this is the mitochondrial matrix, this is the intermembrane space, and this is the inner mitochondrial membrane here. Okay, and the ETC cycle mainly is composed of the 4 complexes here, that is the NADH dehydrogenase, cytochrome BC complex, cytochrome C oxidase complex, and this cytochrome C is this. Okay, these are the 4 complexes we need to understand in detail here, and this Q is the ubiquinone, the protein that carries the electron from one complex to another here. So let's move on. Now let's see the components of ETC in detail here. There are usually 4 structural complexes formed by electron carriers, that are ubiquinone and cytochrome here. Yeah, and cytochromes are nothing but intrinsic protein containing copper and iron, and which are usually electron acceptors. Yeah, and you can see in the complexes there are number of proteins and the prosthetic groups that makes it a complex here, and mainly the prosthetic groups includes FMN, FES center, cytochrome B, C1, C, A, and A3R. These are the basic concepts here, guys. So now let's move on. Now let's know the electron carriers. What are the electron carriers here? Okay, as you can clearly see here, uh, in glycolysis we obtain 2 NADH. In Krebs cycle we obtain 6 NADH and 2 FADH 2, and in pyruvate oxidation also we obtain 2 NADH. So these NADH, and FADH are the electron carriers here. Okay, this is the basic concept here. And after going through the ETC cycle, one NADH produces 3 ATP, so 2 NADH will produce 6 ATP here. Yeah, and 2 FADH produces 4 ATP, as 1 FADH produces 1 ATP. It's a clear concept, guys. 1 NADH produces 3 ATP and 1 FADH produces 2 ATP after ETC cycle. Basic concept. Now let's move on. Now let's see the electron transport chain in detail here. As you can clearly see here, as first what happens is the NADH splits into NAD plus and hydrogen here. Then later on this hydrogen again splits into the electron and the proton. Okay, basic concept here. Now let's see in the complex first here. Here what happens is the NADH is being converted into NAD plus, releasing hydrogen here. This hydrogen will again split into electron and proton, as you can see here, and these electron will carried in the complex one. Okay, and in the complex one it passes through the series of prosthetic groups and protein, and thus finally releases energy, which helps in the pumping of H plus, as you can clearly see here, which helps in the pumping of H plus from the matrix to the intermembranous space. Okay, the same process occurs, and again the electrons are carried from the ubiquinol protein to the complex 2, and again the pumping of proton occurs. Again the same process repeats, and finally it comes to the complex 4 from passing by the complex 3. And then what happens is as you can see, let's come back in complex 2 here. Complex 2 is also called actually succinate dehydrogenase. Okay, and it produces FADH2, and this FADH2 again converts into FAD and it releases electron, which binds with the ubiquinone, and along with the electron from complex 1 it travels to the complex 2. Okay, and the electrons from the complex 2 travels to the complex 3, then complex 4, and finally the electron releases energy, which activates the oxygen, and that oxygen combines with the two molecule of proton in the matrix and finally converts into the water. This is the basic idea here, guys. Okay, and as you can see, the proton is being shifted from the matrix to the intermembranous space. That increases the H plus concentration in the intermembranous space. Okay, so that the concentration of H plus increases here and decreases in the matrix here. Basic concept here, guys. Now let's move on. Now let's see the stripping of H from electron carriers. As we have already mentioned that electron carriers passes electrons and H plus to ETC. Yeah, and H cleaved off NADH and FADH2 I have already mentioned. Now electrons stripped from H atoms are called H plus or protons here. Electron pass from one electron carrier to the next. We have already mentioned that. And flowing electrons create energy to do work. Yes, and this energy helps in the pumping of H plus from matrix to the intermembranous space, as we have already mentioned, and transport protein in membrane pump H plus or protons across the inner membrane to intermediate space. As you can clearly see, guys, the proton is being shifted from matrix to the intermembranous space. So this is the concept here. Now let's move on. Yeah, now let's see what pulls the electron down the ETC. As you can see, the electron is being shifted from complex 1 to complex 2, complex 3, complex 4, and finally converted into H2O molecule here. So the main component acting here is the oxygen molecule. Yeah, as you can see, the half molecule of oxygen binds to the 2 molecule of H plus and thus converts into the water molecule here. So this is the basic idea here, guys. Electron flow downhill to O2 and oxidative phosphorylation occurs. Oxidative simply itself says oxidative requires oxygen. This is the concept here, guys. Now let's move on. Now let's see the electron flow downhill. This is nothing but a sequence of electron chain here. As you can see, the electron released from the NADH, okay, is carried from one complex to another complex and finally converting into the water molecule. Yeah, and finally converting into the water molecule. Actually, the electrons are being passed from one complex to another through a series of prosthetic protein in the complex, and thus finally forms a water molecule. Okay, this is the basic idea, guys. Like from the food, the electrons, yeah, is converted into the water, releasing certain amount of energy in the form of ATP, passing with the process called electron transport chain, and thus make ATP instead of fire. This is the basic concept here. Okay, now let's move on. Now let's see how the ATPs are generated. Okay, as we have already mentioned that in the intermembranous space the H plus concentration is increased. Now it has to be passed to the matrix, but the inner membrane is impermeable, so it requires the ATP synthase here, the complex, and then from the complex the H plus travels to the matrix, and with that releases energy that helps in the phosphorylation of ADP, and thus releases ATP, our required product, the energy. This is the basic concept. As you can see, set up a H plus gradient. Now need to let proton flow through ATP synthase, and synthesis of ATP occurs. Basic idea here, guys. Yeah. Now let's move on. Now let's see the chemiosmosis. The same basic concept. No, not new concept here, guys. The diffusion of ions across a membrane build up a proton gradient just so H plus could flow through ATP synthase enzyme to build ATP. Yeah, same concept. As you can see, the proton is being shifted, yeah, into the intermembranous space so that the concentration would increase and it will favor in the ATP synthesis. Basic concept. Okay, now let's move on. Yeah, now let's see the overall steps here, guys. The overall concept of ETC will be discussed in this slide here. You can see the first step is electrons are harvested and carried to the transport system. Yeah, here you can see from the electron carriers here released from the pyruvate, acetyl coenzyme A and Krebs cycle. The electrons are released and are carried from one complex to another complex, and finally the H2O molecules are being synthesized, are being formed. Actually what happens is the electrons here travels from one complex to another complex from the prosthetic proteins in it, and thus helps in the pumping of protons from matrix to the intermembranous space. Okay, and now let's see the second step here. The electrons provide energy to proton to pump proton across the membrane. Yeah, basic concept here, guys. As you can see, the protons are being shifted here from the matrix to the intermembranous space. Basic concept here, guys. Now let's move on. Now the third stage is oxygen joins with proton to form water. As you can see, the energy released from the complex fourth from the electron helps in the activation of O2 molecule, and then the half molecule of oxygen binds with the two proton molecule present in the matrix, and thus forms our product, the water. This is the basic concept here, guys. So now let's see the last step here. The proton diffuses back in the down their concentration gradient and driving the synthesis of ATP. This is the basic idea, guys. As you can see, the ATP is being synthesized. Yeah, so this was, guys, the overall concept of ETC cycle. Okay, this was the overall idea here. Okay, so now let's see the overview on cellular respiration, where the whole chapter we have already discussed. We have discussed the glycolysis process in which the glucose converts into the pyruvate. We have discussed the pyruvate oxidation process in which the pyruvate converts into the acetyl coenzyme A, the two molecules of acetyl coenzyme A, and then again it goes for the Krebs cycle, yeah, and then it goes for a electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation. In glycolysis, you can see 2 ATP is being formed, yeah, 2 ATP is being formed by substrate level phosphorylation, and 2 NADH is also formed, which is next carried to the ETC cycle for the further generation of ATP. And uh, in the acetyl coenzyme step also you can see that NADH is being formed and being shifted for the electron transport chain, and in Krebs cycle also 6 NADH 2 FADH is being formed and are carried to the electron transport chain. And the Krebs cycle you can see 2 ATP are directly formed by substrate level phosphorylation without going in the ETC cycle here, and in the electron transport chain about 34 ATP are formed by oxidative phosphorylation. So guys, this was the overall concept. Yeah, you can see I have already mentioned 34 ATP formed, 2 ATP from Krebs cycle, 2 ATP from glycolysis, and overall if you see 38 ATPs are generally formed in the cellular respiration. This is the basic idea, guys. We have discussed the overall concept of cellular respiration in this video and in our previous videos too, so better watch for more clearance. Okay, so now guys, just imagine if oxygen is missing, then what will happen? Okay, we can clearly see that the whole cellular respiration was based on the presence of oxygen only, yeah, in aerobic respiration. And suppose if the oxygen is unavailable now, then nothing pushes the electron down the chain, that is ETC backs off, NADH and FADH can't load as plus, ATP production stops, cells run out of energy, and thus you die. So oxygen is must, guys. Oxygen is the must required element here. This is the basic concept here, guys. You can see here also. Okay, now this was the overall concept. So guys, we have discussed the overall concept of cellular respiration. So that's it, we are finally done here. So if you have any question regarding the topic here, so you can comment in the comment section. So this was the overall concept here. So I hope that this video is quite effective for you, and the overall concept is clear to you now. So for today, this much only. If you like the video, hit the like button, share with your friend, and subscribe the channel for more upcoming videos. Thank you.